Hello and welcome back to Doctor Who, The Cancelled Years. In this video, we'll be covering Series 2 of United Nations. So, let's get started. Series 2 of United Nations was directed as a continuation of Series 1. It's again with the stud Penelope Wilton, David Kerwin and David Tennant. Keith Barnfather, Stephen Moffat and Julie Gardner were the remainder on as executive producers, with Barnfather running the show and Elaine Cameron producing. Because this series had no pilot, the series would have been made up of just 6 45-minute episodes. And now, let's get to the episodes. The first episode would have been The Lie of Life, written by Alan Barnes. The story follows a man named Jeremy. We begin with Jeremy waking up in a deserted alleyway. We follow Jeremy throughout his everyday life, however something is wrong, as everyone is terrified around him, though he doesn't know why. Then suddenly, he's arrested by a group of soldiers, who we know to be UNIT. It turns out that Jeremy is in fact a Cyberman whose conversion was either damaged or incomplete, as he still retains his emotions and still sees himself for who he once was. We see the UNIT team trying to help Jeremy realise that he's now a Cyberman and try to keep him stable. However, all the efforts to keep Jeremy sane end up doing more harm than good, as the emotions Jeremy begins to feel begins to burn his mind, and he eventually ends up escaping captivity and goes out on the killing rampage. Eventually, however, Jeremy is defeated when the UNIT team realise there's no way of saving Jeremy, and is destroyed by an explosive device in a big gun battle scene. The second episode would have been Robot Warriors, written by Nicholas Briggs. The story would have been about a first-person shooter game named Robot Warriors, where you control a group of robots and your objective is to kill a race of aliens named the Trenicants. However, it turns out that the game is real. You're controlling real robots, and the Trenicants you're killing are real. The story sees the UNIT team coming into contact with a group of Trenicants who wish to shut down the game as it's killing their people. The UNIT team works with the Trenicants to take down the controllers of Robot Warriors, which are a race known as the Recatards, and shut down the game's servers so that the Trenicants are safe from destruction. The third episode would have been Out of Time, written by Catherine Tregarner. This would have been pretty much the Torchwood episode that shares the same name from real life, albeit with a few adjustments to better suit the characters of the UNIT team. Other than that change though, it would have been pretty much the same story. The fourth episode would have been Crisis, written by Joseph Lidster. The story sees London being threatened by an alien invasion. The aliens demand the currency of 10 million Zombicronians, or else they'll drop a chemical bomb on a part of London. The story sees the UNIT team trying to find out what Zombicronians are and how to get some, as well as figuring out how to unmask and stop the aliens. In the end, the UNIT team end up failing as they can't find any record of Zombicronians. In fact, as far as the Rani knows, there is no official currency with that name. And the story ends with an alien source appearing in the sky and dropping a chemical bomb on 10 Downing Street. And we see everyone inside Downing Street falling dead to the ground. The fifth episode would have been Exonine, written by Joseph Lidster. The story sees the aftermath of the alien attack. With the Prime Minister and his colleagues dead, a new Prime Minister named Richard Davis is rushed into office alongside a new group of politicians. Davis blames UNIT for the death of the old Prime Minister, and so he has UNIT defunded and ceases their operations in favour of a new private military group named Exonine. The UNIT team is suspicious of Exonine as they appear to have just appeared out of thin air. So Jonathan and Rani go undercover in Exonine to investigate them, and they soon discover that Exonine and the new government group are in fact aliens. It turns out that all of this was planned. There is no such thing as Zombicronians. The aliens, which we learn are named the Voddinks, are planning to get rid of UNIT and take over as a similar group so that they can eventually enslave the population of Earth. The Voddinks are using a perception filter to disguise themselves as humans, when they really clearly look alien underneath the perception filter. And the story ends with Jonathan and Rani seeing through the perception filter, and the Voddinks realising that Jonathan and Rani are spies, as they slowly corner Jonathan and Rani. The final episode would have been the Voddink Takeover, written by Joseph Lidster. The story would see Amanda, Rani and Jonathan coming together to expose the Voddinks and have them defeated before the invasion can begin. The story sees our three regulars trying to find a way to make everyone see the Voddinks for who they are. They're eventually able to hijack the perception filter when the Prime Minister addresses the nation live on television, and the unit team are able to filter out the perception filter for a few seconds, making everyone see the Voddinks for who they really are. When the Voddinks realise they've been exposed, they put Downing Street into lockdown and kill every human in the building. They then address units over the television to tell them to stand down, or else they will tell the Voddink army to destroy the planet. However, the Voddinks end up being defeated when the unit team are able to hijack into their defences to send a missile to Downing Street, which blows up the building and kills the Voddink leaders. The remaining Voddink are then hunted down and killed or arrested, and the story ends with the unit being brought back into business and thanked for their service. And that concludes Series 2 of United Nations. The series received very similar reactions to Series 1. However, 1 month after Series 2 concluded, it was announced that Series 3 was to be the final series of the show. And that wasn't the only announcement that was made, as in early July, it was announced that The Pyramid would be coming back for a 5th and final season in 2010, which would be entitled Children of Earth. So join me next time for season 46 of Doctor Who. Until then, thank you for watching and goodbye.